Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Showdown here at the Foundry. Come on and ban episode number 55, and we are doing another pre-show today, joined by the one, the only, the man who makes everything go here, Andrew.
Not everything.
Engdrew.
I just make the tournament go.
It feels like everything, though, from when you're like on our perspective of competitors, and we're all just hovered in on the Smash scene, and all we see is your beautiful face every single time we come here, man. So, as a lot of people in the community know, you have gotten an offer for a new job, and unfortunately will be leaving us pretty soon.
Yeah, I start next Monday, which is exciting and scary at the same time.
Yeah,
all these things in my life have changed drastically within the past like 2 weeks. So
and it's awesome, dude. I'm like,
it's pretty crazy.
It's truly an honor to sit down here on the couch and have an interview with you about your whole entire Smash career, which is basically where we're going to take this. But
I almost never sit on the. I mean, like I commentate sometimes, but I almost never do it on Thursdays.
Dude,
because you guys have it on
now
lock,
it's time for you to express your bright and bubbly personality to the people.
Great. Bright and bubbly indeed. Indeed.
So, first I have to ask, are you allowed to talk about your new offer yet?
Yeah.
So
I can talk about my offer.
The
I can talk about the job. I can't talk about what I'm going to be doing exactly.
Doing.
But
so let the people know what you're moving on to.
All right. So I am going to be HTC esports specialist. That's my official title. You can insert a marketing in between the two, but they don't have it on the official title. But basically, I'll be doing marketing for their new products, like the HTC Vive, as you guys know, probably virtual reality,
Pretty
stuff.
Sweet. I got to try one out.
Yep.
So.
And then also their HTC flagship phone, the HTC 10. So I'm going to be basically marketing those products in the esports and gaming world, and then kind of also supporting teams and supporting events and people who stream in the background as well. So we're going to be partnering with a lot of people and doing that kind of stuff.
And that's super awesome, because you started here at Showdown, I believe, from like the
2 years ago.
2 years ago, right?
Yep.
And then that's led you up to this new experience coming on. So I feel like it's most important to figure out, where did this all start from, man? Like, what was day one of your whole experience? How did you get wrapped into this whole Showdown?
Yeah. So how I started with Showdown, well, how I started with esports, let's start with that.
Yeah.
So I started organizing competitive gaming events in college during my undergraduate studies at UC San Diego. And I was basically the head organizer for one of the largest tournaments there, called Winter Game Fest, UCSD Winter Game Fest. Hosted Melee, CS, this is 1.6 or like CS Source, like back in the day.
Yep.
Warcraft 3, Dota, StarCraft, League of Legends, Street Fighter, Smash,
everything,
and we had like a kind of like a rotation.
Dance Revolution.
Yeah, we actually had a casual setup of that.
Get
too.
out of here!
Oh my God! So throwback to then. So I organized that for like 3 or 4 years, and then through that I got a lot of connections because I had to establish sponsorships with a lot of the gaming companies that were in the area, notably Blizzard. Partnered with Microsoft for Xbox launches and things like that. So it got my foot in the door in terms of just getting my name out there, in terms of organizing esports events and getting to know the esports world and industry. Through that, I graduated with a bioengineering degree, worked in bioengineering for like a year and a half.
How was that?
And I hated it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, esports is my calling, man. It's my passion. It's what I'm enthusiastic about. It's what I love. I love providing for the community these kinds of events that I throw together and things like that. So it's just like a part of me kind of became attached to esports when I was an undergraduate at UCSD. So then coming back after I quit my job, bioengineering, I joined a startup company called ReadyForce, which had me put together LANhammer.
What
in 2013.
Year around? 2013?
2013.
Okay.
August 2013 is when I put together LANhammer, and they were basically a startup company trying to like combine like they're basically trying to market it to the young crowd that loves esports and gaming, and trying to build a career network around that, like have people connect through gaming and things like that. So that was their idea behind it. I put together LANhammer. We had 3,000 people show up across 2 days. The event was totally free, and we gave away like $25,000 in prize money. I don't know if you went. You probably didn't go.
No, this was before my time.
Okay, so So a lot of the people here went.
Yeah.
So this was also before Smash 4 came out. So it was like Melee.
Yeah, Brawl days, right?
But we didn't host Brawl. We still hosted only Melee.
Okay.
So through that, I basically met CJ, who's the president and one of the founding members of Showdown, and I volunteered my time here when we started the Foundry. So through that, he's like, "Hey, we have this awesome thing going," and I kind of like volunteered my services. To help them organize their gaming nights, right? There wasn't any direction to it yet. It was just a game night.
This was
right?
like startup, basically.
This was
right?
a startup, yes. So I joined the ranks of Showdown, and then we grew it. We grew our stream. We got partnered with Twitch, and and then now we're here.
Yeah.
2 years later, we did Genesis. We did HTC Throwdown.
Hey,
we did Extra Life.
You're jumping ahead of the program. We'll get to those big events in a little bit. Don't worry.
But
I have to ask you, do you remember what it was like on your first day here at Showdown? Like what your first tourney was like?
All right. So we were in the back near where the stairwell is.
Yeah.
And there didn't used to be a stairwell there. I don't know if you were here when there wasn't a stairwell there.
I joined post stairwell.
Okay. So there wasn't a stairwell there. And the only way you can go upstairs was through behind the kitchen. There's another set of stairs that goes up. That was the only way you can go upstairs. And so we never gave away that space. It was kind of a hassle. There wasn't a kitchen either there.
Yeah.
They prepared their food behind the bar over there. So
what space was available behind this bar? This
there
layout
didn't
does
used
not
to be,
promote.
There didn't used to be a brewery there. What used to be there was like the kitchen layout.
Okay.
So they used to do all their food back there. So they upgraded the Foundry and done a lot of stuff to the Foundry. But the first tournament I ran here, we had a stream because we wanted to do a stream. That was one of our like main things. We knew that a stream was gonna draw people's attention.
Yeah.
And kind of legitimize the whole thing.
If you're saying this was like 2014, right?
Yeah.
This was pretty much when Twitch was coming into its own at the time. So you guys were like
Twitch was already big, but it wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Right.
You're at the forefront of the esporting area.
Exactly.
For, like, Smash in this area.
So the first tournament I held here, we had one row of back-to-back tables, CRTs, and then just 2 benches on either side, and then that was our tournament setup. And then we had our stream setup. The TV that we used, it was so big. It was like a 28 or 30-inch CRT that's like literally 150 pounds.
Yeah.
You cannot pick it up with one person. So it was carted on one of these carts, these utility carts, and we rolled it out.
Up the staircase?
No, to the stream setup and plugged everything in, and that was our first stream.
Yeah.
Here at the Foundry.
That's pretty damn sweet.
Now,
to see where it came from and where it is now.
That was our first experience at the Foundry.
Yeah.
The first ever stream we did was actually the next episode. We were the side stream. That was our first stream ever. At the next episode is a big Melee tournament at Merritt College in Oakland.
Yeah, Lake Merritt.
Yeah, Lake Merritt. There's a community college there.
Yeah.
We did a big Smash event. That's actually where most of our regionals have been held. And we were the side stream, and we basically learned everything from Gimmer. So we have Gimmer to thank for
shout outs to the Game
teaching
& Watch
us,
himself.
showing us the ropes in the beginning, and becoming a worthy rival.
Yeah,
to say the least. To say the least, right?
The West Coast version.
Yeah, so that's what this is.
So about what time would you say the Foundry started picking up and developing into the scene that we see today?
Oh man, I'd have to say the first time we had non-esports commentary.
Okay.
For Melee.
Yeah.
The first ever time we had non-esports commentary, it was Homemade Waffles, and I think Alan on the microphone, and they're
dream
just like,
team.
yeah, and they're just like, man, just talk to us, chat. Just talk to us. And then they basically turned it into like a Q&A session with Homemade Waffles and Alan, and they were giving away the most hilarious responses, and just the stream loved it, and they're just like, keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then that was our cue to like, just go with the flow, and then just do non-esports commentary. Never talk about the game. This is probably like 2 or 3 months into streaming.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if we stream it weekly and we do this commentary thing every time, people are getting burned out. It's gonna get stale real easy. People are gonna get burned out. The players aren't gonna come. It's not interesting anymore. Like, we want to be different. We want to show something that viewers are gonna be entertained by and not know what to expect week after week. That's what we wanted to do. So that was how non-esports commentary at the Foundry was born. And it's a tradition now. But however, you guys over here at Smash 4 take it real serious. It's like kind of like a big thing. It's like the exact opposite. It's like the Foundry is the premier tournament in the Bay Area. You guys take commentating very seriously, and it's kind of like a showcase of what NorCal wants to put forward as our best foot, right? So that's kind of what we want to do.
It's definitely an interesting dichotomy when you bring it up like that. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the sponsorship that's going on nowadays with a lot of Smash 4. You see, like at larger events, they're getting corporate sponsorship by Nintendo. So obviously, you got to put on your best face for all the big people out there watching.
Smash 4 is still the game that Nintendo is throwing all the support behind. At their like Nintendo World Championships, et cetera. So they have their own Nintendo efforts and things like that. So it's very important for their game to have this kind of look, and so that's kind of how Showdown's stream also kind of meshed with that. So
it's excellent though at the same time too, because then you get both sides depending on which day you tune into. You got the very fun-loving kind of. It's kind of falls in line with the traditional sense of what Super Smash Brothers is meant to be, right? It's a party.
Yeah, it's a party game.
You and your friends get together and you beat the crap out of each other. And you talk a lot of trash.
And that's what we want the Foundry to be.
Yeah. So
I feel like it really encapsulates that kind of sentiment as well. The Foundry itself, as a concept. It's a great venue.
So then I've seen you evolve from this little caterpillar into this beautiful big blossoming butterfly that started out hosting these local, smaller, more independent tournaments, and now you have been hosting larger events. I remember you got invited to Smash Beyond the Summit, or Smash at the Summit.
And I'm going again.
And you're going again. And you've done G3.
Yep, Genesis 3.
I mean, these are like multiple thousands and thousands of people kind of events. I want to know, what was like the biggest difference that you saw between like hosting something small versus large? Like, where did your time and effort have to go into? What are some of your big stories that you have to have from like hosting these large events?
I think from an organizational standpoint, all of the basic principles of organizing tournaments still stand. It's just you have to have, like when you're organizing for that sheer number of people, thousands, right? Thousands of people. You run into communication issues because you have such a wide audience you have to address. So you have to be very, very, very efficient in your communication. HTC Throwdown was ran basically almost single-handedly by me, and that was one of the biggest tournaments I single-handedly ran.
How many
Genesis
people?
Genesis was a joint effort.
How many people were at HTC?
HTC, we had 400 entries.
Okay.
Singles and doubles.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
Insane.
And one man to run it all.
And we flew out basically the top 16 players here. Everyone except Leffen. Oh no, sorry. Not, everyone except Armada.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mewtwo King, Mango.
It's an expensive plane ticket.
Okay, Mewtwo King, Mango. Mewtwo King, Mango, Leffen, Hungrybox. PP did not come either. He said he wasn't feeling up to it. So we were missing Armada, who wanted to support DreamHack, and PPMD, who wasn't feeling good. Sure. So that was the biggest tournament I ran. Basically, just communication was the biggest thing that I learned that I had to be crystal clear about. Other than that, I don't know. I feel like these kind of administrative things when it comes to organizing events just kind of come naturally to me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a very clear workflow, and then it just kind of processes through my head, and I kind of understand like what needs to be done when, and like what needs to be said to who, and things like that. So, for me, organizing events is something I've been doing since I was like before a teenager. So
yeah.
Something I figured out that I was good at, right?
For people that are looking to go into your area, then what would you say is some of the best advice that you could give for like hosting an event?
Oh, I get this question all the time.
Yeah. Now you're on the record.
Yes. Okay, for the record, if you want to get involved with esports,
yeah,
it is not easy. All right? Like, Zero has said this a bunch of times on his videos. Like, if you're kind of trying to do esports, especially as a player full time, it's not easy. As an organizer, it's also not easy. You need to keep putting in the hours, volunteer as much as you can, put yourself out there, and then just be humble about everything. Like that's the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone who's just trying to start out and organize esports events, the number one thing is volunteer and dedicate your time. Really, truly show that you're passionate about esports. That's the number one thing that I can tell people. You're not going to reap and sow the rewards, immediately, right? All your effort is going towards something, and you just have to be patient regarding that. For me, it was the patience of working here at Showdown for 2 years, and even before that, like with Landhammer and everything, just being able to use these as kind of step by step stepping stones to get to where I am now. And you should always be on the lookout for how you can improve yourself and how you can improve the community and the scene and the games and the streams. You should always be looking and always trying to be on the hunt for improving yourself as a person, right? So for me, I'm always looking at the next step, right? Like even during my interview with HEC, they were asking me, hey, where do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now? That's a question you get every single interview. Yeah. Every interview, right? And they asked me specifically, hey, what do you see yourself doing maybe after HEC? And I'm not gonna give my answer, but these are all things that you should be thinking about once you start to define your career goals.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think what's very interesting about what you said was, taking on these responsibilities as more of like a humble experience to get your foot in the door and meet the right people and everything, and just taking it as like it's a passion project.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely a passion.
Yeah, because
that's what drove me. Right.
Yeah.
That's
it definitely shows in your tournaments, man. Like if we could just turn the camera around for like 1 second, you'd see there's like 80 people out here just in the Smash area alone. It's like packed right now.
How many are you at?
Ready at the tournament.
Okay.
67.
67 people.
67 people here. And I don't think you get to this point where you are right now with this amount of people doing it for the sake of like trying to get money or a job or anything. Like this is truly like a passion project that you're doing for the other people.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole ambiance of this space just shows that the entire organization backing this and organizing this is truly passionate about gaming. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, and the last thing is I would emphasize that networking is number one. Yeah. Like the people you talk to and interact with are going to be the sole givers of your opportunities.
Exactly.
Because if you make a lasting impression on them, they're going to think of you when it comes time. When
a good lasting impression.
A good lasting impression, like, right?
There's all kinds of lasting impressions.
Exactly. So the two things I would say is volunteer your time, dedicate yourself if you're truly passionate about esports, and then 2, put yourself out there and network hard. Meet the right people, talk to the right people. Don't like grovel at them, but like make yourself useful to them. Make them, when they think of you, think of yourself as an asset to them, right?
And a go-to person.
Exactly,
really.
that go-to person. That's what you want to be.
So now that you've been through this whole experience for 2 years, you've seen thousands of matches, tens of thousands of matches.
Yeah.
I want to know, in your experience of being throughout this community, what have been some of the hypest moments for you? Not only just matches, but like tournament experience, any kind of stories, but especially first, let's go with the matches.
All right. The matches?
Yeah.
Mango getting 17th place at HGC Throwdown. Losing to Drug Fox. Losing to Drug Fox and MacD. Drug Fox and winners and MacD and losers. That was...
yeah, it's hard to see Mango go out, man. It's the people's champ, too.
It was just like... I didn't want to say it like kind of killed the tournament for a lot of people, but there were a lot of Mango fans that were very, very, very disappointed.
Of course.
As you could tell with Genesis, what happened there, that's what's incredible. Like
that second place run.
The fact that there was plot armor and then just like the whole Mango Armada thing had to be destined to happen.
Yep.
That just made Genesis so magical. You know what I mean? Like the difference between HGC Throwdown and Genesis, that was a big difference right there. Doesn't matter how well I ran the tournament or anything like that, or experience or anything. Genesis itself will be remembered because of that sole fact. Mango played Armada, and it was beautiful. Right?
Exactly.
It was beautiful.
No, it was beautiful. On the other side, too, we don't speak about Smash 4 as much recently, but I think that that also head-to-head matchup between Zero and Renai.
Oh,
was
yeah.
also like one of those things that every single person was expecting and hoping and wishing would happen.
Exactly.
All dreams came true at Genesis.
All
man.
the dreams came true. That's why Genesis will be commonly regarded as one of the greatest tournaments of all time. Just because of that. It doesn't matter how good or bad the tournament ran or whatever. Like people don't remember those kinds of things.
I remember it ran pretty well.
I mean, it ran well, right?
I liked it.
Right? But you will truly remember. It's very defined by its moments. That's what it really is.
Exactly.
Right? A tournament's defined by the moments it creates. Right.
How about here at the Foundry? What have been some of your favorite moments
Okay,
off the top of your head?
so before the Foundry really got big, we were against that back wall under that projector over there, kind of in the boonies. And did we even have a stream? We didn't have a stream when we first started. We did not have a stream when we first started. But it was 4 setups against the wall over there. I just remember shit-talking Kronos every single time. It was so funny. Like, I would just be like, "Oh, get wrecked, Thomas!" Oh man, those were good times. But then once we got bigger, and I kind of had
to. You're talking about for Smash 4?
Smash 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of had to, kind of contain myself a little bit.
Yeah. At the same time, I remember seeing you cheer for Kronos once or twice.
Oh yeah,
of
course.
Don't throw all this shade at the boy.
Of course.
I remember one of my favorite pop-ups I saw from you specifically, getting on the chair. Yeah, I know. Watching the match at the side.
Which time did down smash?
It's crazy.
Oh my god.
One of my favorite moments I remember, you got on the chair and you just like stood up and yelled at everybody. I remember Thomas got in some weird, Kronos rather, got in some weird knockdown situation where he hit. It was Silent Spectre on the ground, and he jab blocked him like 3 times, walked up and Shoryuken
him.
And I just remember you just like kicking over the chair like, what?
Yeah.
Thomas! Oh man.
Yeah, I do that kind of stuff. Just because can't contain it.
Yeah, we need the hype man though. That's really what a lot of Smash is about.
Which time?
Was that really Zex? Okay, so Zex is picking up Bayonetta.
Oh god.
Speaking about Bayonetta. We don't need to talk about her specifically, but
can we please, NorCal, please do not ban Bayonetta. That is the dumbest thing you could ever do. God.
TO's final wishes is to not
ban
Bayonetta.
Please do not ban Bayonetta.
But
unless it gets really, I need empirical evidence that Bayonetta is broken, and that's really hard to prove. Really hard to prove.
I think it's very easy to prove.
I think it's hard to prove.
We just got to get Kelso to try out Bayonetta, and if he wins, then it's banned. That's in Fiend Chat. We always say if Kelso's winning, something must be wrong here. That's why nobody plays Pocket anymore. Kelso's the best.
Please do not ban Bayonetta. Thank you.
But I feel like it's very important to talk about the future of Smash Bros.
Ooh.
So how do you see it both from the Melee perspective and the Smash 4 perspective? What do you see the future being, and what do you wish the future would be like?
The first thing that comes to mind is this video that made it onto Reddit at South by Southwest, the Battle of the 5 Gods. I don't remember what channel it was on because it was on Reddit. Some guy went around asking if they thought Melee is esports yet. And the pro players, Shroomed, Armada, PPMD, they all like, oh yeah, definitely, Melee is there. But we're kind of just like the baby of esports. I feel like we're only on the tip of the iceberg, right? PPMD specifically pointed out the fact that some of our, even our top 10 player, like Shroomed, has to take a second job and can't live off of just playing Melee like a lot of other pro gamers do, specifically for like League of Legends, Dota, CSGO, things like that, right?
Sure.
It's like, when you compare it side to side, that's the main difference. Our players aren't dedicating their practice hours on, like they can't dedicate their entire day to making themselves excel at this game.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big difference.
I think what you're saying that is very important is that it's not that they don't want to, it's just that they can't. Because it's like
exactly.
too
It's not
expensive
feasible.
to live.
It's not. It's not feasible. The same actually goes for our broadcasters. It's not easy for us to make a sustainable living just doing broadcasts like this.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to supplement it with game nights like the Foundry. That's how we supplement some of our income. Right.
Yeah.
Because then the general public can come in here and help us, pay off some of the costs of maintaining a place like this. Right. Exactly. So. Obviously, we're not making loads and boatloads of money off of like ad revenue and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's just the way Smash and streaming in this day and age right now work. but I think we are definitely on the cusp of esports. We're on the borderline of greatness. It really is going to take some mastermind genius out there who's got all the economic and accounting savvy to figure out the exact way we need to basically make Smash as an esport economically sustainable.
Sure.
That's the biggest problem, right? That's what I identify as the biggest problem. That's what's holding us back from making Melee, making Smash 4 esports. That's what I think. And I think it's going to really take Nintendo to do something drastic, or another third party. But it would most likely have to be Nintendo, just because, you see Riot backing LCS. You see Valve backing CS:GO. You see Valve backing and community backing Dota 2. Right? These kinds of things all come from developer support, and that's their kind of ecosystem. Smash, where does the ecosystem come from? Right? Where is that money coming from?
Understand.
Right?
It's usually third party.
Out of pocket, out of sponsorships, right? We have to work so hard for these sponsorships, and it's just it's really hard to make Smash sustainable. So that's what I identified as the biggest problem that's holding us back from truly becoming esports.
Now, do you
where
see
Gimmer can make a living off of this?
Now, do you see that as being more of on the community's aspect? The bear of responsibility falls on the community?
I don't think the community should have anything to do with it. Well, okay, the community is what's going to grow the scene and the reputation of the game and the way and its viewership. That's where the community comes in. The passion for the game, right?
Yeah.
But the developer is going to be the one that has to put their foot, throw their towel into the ring.
Yeah.
That's what they have to do, right? But Nintendo has always traditionally been very hands-off.
Oh, I would say conservative.
Very conservative, yes.
It's a perfect word for it, because they're starting to dabble into it a little bit more recently with the sponsorship at, I believe, was it Evo or Apex, or their lending system?
Yes.
And also Genesis too, right?
as well, yes.
They were helping with support in the Nintendo World Championship. So I could definitely see Nintendo getting into the ring. I could also see that it could be a little bit of an interesting dynamic between the community and Nintendo, and that Nintendo really probably wants to sponsor the right kind of people as the faces of the community.
Yes.
So maybe you could speak to, maybe some things that we as a community can do to help better Nintendo's time and make it more, attractive to throw more money into the ring.
That's really hard to say because I don't know what they're looking for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, things like Genesis are definitely a really good look for us.
Yeah.
And I think we need more of that. I think what Good Game is doing with stuff like the Five Gods, Battle of the Five Gods is a really good look for us. Right?
Great production, I want to say.
Yeah, exactly. So them
behalf.
Putting such a professional broadcast together and then kind of throwing that event together and marketing it the way they did is kind of more in line with the way I think Nintendo would support it, right?
Yeah.
So Red Bull's doing a couple things I can't really talk about yet, but I'm also will work on things with Red Bull to generate interest at the local level.
Yeah.
So there's that. And they're also working with Nintendo Legal, and we've been in talks with them as well. So there's been some sort of partnership worked out, and we will see that very soon. And so those are the kinds of things that I think will just overall give that injection of attention that Nintendo's going to want from us. That's what I think. So I can't really say exactly, but I think we're going in the right direction, albeit very slowly.
Excellent. So we're about 10 minutes away from the show starting. So I want to leave this off with you giving whatever final words you have to say left to the Smash 4 and Melee communities out here.
Well, guys, I will be around still. I will still be around in NorCal. Man, my first day on the job is going to be Monday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane.
Big boy pants coming on.
I found an apartment in Berkeley. I will be living out of Berkeley and being able to BART to work here in the Mission. I don't know, just thank you guys for supporting Showdown Smash and kind of going through this wild journey with me, and just always watching, always tuning in, and always coming to support the Foundry and our tournaments here at Showdown. So just thank you guys. I really wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So
I think a lot of us wouldn't be here without you. I want to make sure that that's well known too. Like, I can only speak from personal experience, but I remember my first day at a Foundry was a Tuesday, a random Tuesday. I'd never heard about the Foundry before. One of my friends was like, oh, there's video games going on at this bar or whatever. I stepped into this place and I was completely amazed at like the level of production that not only you do as like a Melee and Smash 4 tournament figurehead, but like the entire crew here at Showdown has put together like a truly amazing show. Like I've called this place kind of the Mecca of Smash, right? You always got to travel here at least once to see what it's all about.
It's really a beautiful experience. Yeah. It's like something I don't think can work anywhere else except San Francisco. That's what I personally think, right?
It's got the right minds, the right kind of people, the right audience coming in here to support the community and everything. So from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you for everything that you've done for our community.
I will be around. I'll be around.
Obviously, but, it's not like you're gonna like go away and never be seen again or something. Hopefully, that's not the case. Ooh, getting that beautiful stroke from the boss man over there, dude. He's gonna miss you too.
Oh, so, he already misses me.
So we're gonna tune out for like a couple of minutes before the start of the show.
Yep.
Thank you, Engdrew, for being on here. If you got a Twitter handle or something you want to
plug? Yeah. Just you guys can follow me or tweet at me at Engdrew, ENGDREW.
Yeah.
And remember, you guys are watching Showdown Smash.
Yeah.
And today is Come On and Man number 55, our premier Smash 4 tournament here in the Bay Area.
Let's get some subs in the chat today, man.
Oh, yeah, let's get some subs.
And some celebration of this man in his final day here. So, Andrew, thank you very, very much for this
interview. Thank you for your time.
Take care. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes for the start of the show.